Hi everyone, and welcome to the Capricorn Weekly Tarot Bite reading for the week of June 26th through July 2nd. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot reading for soul illumination. Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Lauren. Thank you for joining me. Now this is a quick mini read for the energy for the week ahead for your sign Capricorn, but it is based on the two main themes that came out in the collective reading, which was posted on Sunday, if you'd like to check that out as well. Now we had Deep Knowing and Two of Cups come in. The Deep Knowing really, to me, just on an intuitive level, really spoke to kind of like how you see the owl here sitting in between a planetary body and the moon and its moon. It's almost like being able to balance the feminine and the masculine within ourselves, that illumination, initiation quality of the masculine with kind of what's hidden and the receiving watery energy, emotional energy of the moon. So with the deep knowing, there's something here, I think for many of us, that this is going to be that week of really being able to see where something maybe has been imbalanced. We're in a process of balancing both. And then we're going to bring that deep knowing into our love connections this week. There was a strong theme of love that came through, a strong theme of equal partnership, whether this is romantic, whether this is friendship, whether this is work environments, but it's those people that we connect to intimately and who are really there to support us and vice versa, and us them. So I'm going to jump in here, Capricorn, and we're going to pull clarifiers for both of these cards to see how they're specifically affecting you this week, or Capricorn energy, depending on where you have your Capricorn placements here. So for deep knowing, let's see, we have Temperance. I love that because this is the card of balance. It brings in the number 14 as well, which for me is always freedom, liberation through change. And in this card specifically, you see an individual who is pouring between two cups. But there's also this feeling of one cup on, one foot in the water and one foot on the land. And we also see that the emblems here on this individual, where it's the emblem of the fire element with the water element. So there's this feeling here of really being able to, with the 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on land, that you're bringing your emotions into your everyday experience. And you're also learning how to balance fire with water, meaning balance your passion and how you choose to take action with what you're feeling. In Capricorn, you can sometimes struggle with this, where you could, Capricorns are very good at meeting their goals. They're very good at keeping their eye on the prize, but it's at the cost of your own emotional well-being, because that is the water goat. That's your sign that you actually come up out of the, or the sea goat, I guess is, how we would look at it. You come up out of the sea, which is out of your emotions, to climb to the mountaintop, which is the goal. And so there's something here, I think, for many of you, there's this deep knowing of maybe where you have ignored your emotional self for some time, and there's a beautiful rebalancing of bringing that part in to how you initiate, how you are a cardinal earth sign, so you are the earth sign that moves forward and harnesses masculine energy. You actually are the divine father archetype in the world of astrology. So there's something here, I think, about really being able to also honor the divine feminine within yourself as well. I'm going to see if anything else wants to come up here, but otherwise I'll jump into clarifying the Two of Cups. Anything else for deep knowing? Doesn't seem like it. So I'm going to go to the Two of Cups. So Cancer, Two of Cups. Oh, I'm sorry, Cancer, Capricorn. I just did Cancer's reading before yours. We have the Seven of Swords. Gosh, I'm just all over the place. It's Ten of Swords. Okay, we have the Ten of Swords coming up with the Two of Cups. That's very difficult energy. This is where we've kind of hit rock bottom. We've been brought to our knees. We've felt like the support system we had was kind of pulled out from underneath us, with the Two of Cups coming in underneath that. So this could be you reflecting on a time where you went through that energy, Cancer. Cancer, you might be dealing with a Cancer in your life. Capricorn. So you might be dealing with that energy, Capricorn, where you you did go through that, or you're going through it now where it's felt like it's been a very tough time. But interestingly enough, when we go through a period like that, when we go through the 10 of Swords, this is the closeout of a cycle. The individual has gone through it and has literally hit rock bottom, only to be able to survive it to watch the sunrise there on the horizon. And that individual will stand up, they will shake off those 10 swords, and they will take one sword of truth that they learned in that cycle forward into the next cycle. So there's something here around, I think, with deep knowing, perhaps the truth of what might have happened, whether in a past cycle or what is currently being experienced as you move into the next cycle, is the realization of how much you either closed yourself off emotionally because of the wounding in the past, or how you went through a cycle of wounding because you did not you did not honor your emotions. You did not honor your cup. You weren't matching someone cup to cup, meaning matching someone equally on an emotional sense. And so this is a beautiful time for you really to realize the truth of that we have to always honor our emotions as part of our experience. We can't just shut that part of ourselves down, because when we do, we become disconnected. And then we have the Four of Wands and Death. That is the end. It could be the end of a marriage for some of you. And this could be you could be living through this now. And that could be very difficult. That there is literally the end of a long-standing foundation, which can be marriage. This can also be, though, because death can also represent death and then transformation. So for some of you, through looking at the pain of the past, you might actually be looking at the transformation of a relationship that you've been in that has a very stable foundation built. So this could be the transformation of a long-term relationship, especially with Temperance coming in here and the balancing within yourself. It's almost like that balance might need to then be represented in something being balanced out in a relationship between you and a significant romantic partnership. But for others of you, I mean, this literally could be the end of a marriage. And it's very painful. And I apologize, and I am deeply saddened if that is the case for you guys. Now, this is not fortune telling. I don't fortune tell when we look at energetic readings like this. This is just what is in the energy of what you are experiencing in your energetic being. And so, again, this could be where you are just reliving the end of a past marriage or something that happened that kind of brought you to your knees. And you might be now realizing the why. Sometimes it takes us a long time to process that information. And I can say for myself personally, boy, oh boy, have I understood that. Even just recently, not even in relationships, but in my work relationships, which is very interesting. So keep that in mind. There could be something here coming in where it's like, wow, I really needed to process and finally get over the grieving process for that past relationship. And now it's time for me to realize I can't do that again in this new relationship. So when I start to connect intimately and authentically with others, I'm going to come from a place of where I'm honoring my emotions. Now, for those of you who are maybe contemplating a divorce or something along those lines, this is really stating as you move through this, it will be very transformative for you. At the bottom of the deck is Judgment. Yeah, this is a big, major change. This is a massive change. Judgment is something that we can't go back from. This is the card that when we think of death, Judgment is when we are called up from the dead as the new version of ourselves. So we can't go back to being the other version, right? That part of ourself has died. So there's something along this line of either this relationship is done and it's time to, realize that you're being called up as a new version of yourself coming out of this relationship. It's time just to let go of a cycle in a relationship and allow the foundation of that relationship to literally be transformed, that the relationship itself could be going through a judgment period. And the Temperance card here speaks to that freedom through change, freedom through growth, and that this is the growth period. And now you get to balance this next cycle with honoring your emotions as much as maybe you weren't doing so in the past. Okay, I'm going to pull a relationship card as well to close out the reading. So let's see what, since this week was so focused on love and relationships specifically, what does Capricorn need to know about this? Okay, it says trust. It says this situation is calling for you to have faith, which is beautiful. That's a really positive message coming through here. And I think this is just stating, Capricorn, it's time to trust yourself. When we think about faith, faith to me is one of the most powerful forces aside from love and forgiveness, because faith gives us the courage to love. Faith gives us the courage to forgive. And so there's something here around really kind of getting into that place of having faith that whatever you're going through now is meant to help you come out as the new version of yourself, or it's meant to be able to allow you to, again, balance your emotions into your everyday experience. And it could be literally leaning into your partner. Or maybe if you are discussing, the releasing of a marriage or a long-term commitment, that instead you open up and you bring your emotions into the situation and see where that can take the relationship from this point forward. So this is calling for faith to be open, to honor your emotions, and to connect from that place. All right, I will leave it there, Capricorn. I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead, a wonderful week of deep knowing and awareness, and a week of faith in yourself and in those around you. If you'd like to book a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box below to visit my website. Otherwise, I will be posting July's full tarot scope readings for each sign starting at the end of this week. So I hope you'll check those out. Otherwise, I will see you next week for next week's weekly tarot bite reading. Bye, Capricorn.